In the 2016 budget, the IRS got more money to answer the phones. They didn't give them any money for enforcement, they gave them more money to answer the phones. Because let's talk about what happened last year and what happens this year. Last year, they answered 30-some% of the calls to the 800-1040 number. The other people never got through. They had a courtesy disconnect. They'd sit on the phone for an hour, a recording would come on saying, "We're sorry, we can't get to you." They'd cut them off and they'd have to call back. Instead of letting them but the phones would load up so much, nobody could have gotten through. To avoid busy signals, they cut off the people who'd waited the longest.
But you're thinking, wait a minute, I submitted good stuff. They should have been able to calculate. It might have been a little different than what we proposed. How would you find out about that there was potentially an RCP calculated? Do a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act request. Now, when you do that, and this is very important, because I know because we made this mistake, don't just ask for the case notes, okay? You have to specifically put this language in there, activity record and/or case notes as they relate to the offer in compromise file. If you don't put that, but the offer in compromise file, they're going to give you the case notes from a different file. Okay? They're stored in different places, so you have to mention that.
So here's the thing with tax court. I'll tell you a little about it here. First of all, if you're not an attorney, you can't sign a tax court petition. It's more than just they frown on it. They go nuts, and I've seen it happen where the CPA files the tax court petition. You can't do that.
So, as LG said, not everyone plays by the right rules at the IRS. So over in California, there is this revenue officer, and he decided he was going to basically stalk one of the people he was going after, and he would just like randomly break through the guy's fence, try getting in the house, stuff like that. And so the practitioner got a restraining order against the revenue officer saying, "Hey, stay away from my client. This is ridiculous what you're doing." And the court granted it. The revenue officer was so upset that he sent a case over to OPR saying, "Hey, this guy can't get a restraining order against me. It's ridiculous. What is this guy doing?" We got the case and we just kind of laughed at the revenue officer because it was ridiculous. Everything that he did was totally out of bounds. And if you ever need to get a restraining order against a revenue officer, go ahead and do it because OPR would have your back if it's actually warranted. But during that process, he tried FOIAing some information on the revenue officer that they just couldn't get, like personnel files to see if it was happening in the past and stuff like that.
And I'm hoping it will be better because we're not just sticking to one topic. We're going to go over, like I said, everything. We're going to update, talk about some strategies, mostly at the end if I have time. And most importantly, I want to emphasize pitfalls because I was thinking, what would I want to hear? What would be helpful to me in my practice? Well, I've been doing this for a long time now. I've been on both sides of the fence. I was an IRS counsel attorney for a long time, and now I've gone, let's see, it's 15 years, and now I'm 16 years in private practice. So I've seen a lot, and I'm hoping I can give you some of the pitfalls I've seen. There's a lot more, but in the time I have, that you can hopefully avoid it.
All you have to do is say, "I assert privilege." Well, I'm a revenue officer. I assert privilege. I'm a revenue agent. I assert privilege. I'm an appeals officer. I assert privilege. Well, I'm chief counsel. I really assert privilege for you. So the point is, assert privilege, do your job, read some of these cases. I'm going to tell you about.